And welcome to the feed. It's RLGamer, and we are preparing for a game that is definitely not new, but is new to me. I love Tropico 3. I love it. It was a really great game at its time, but it's aged quite a bit. And sometimes I can't get off of games that I really enjoy and try something new. But around the holidays, I found myself with Tropico 4. So I thought that we could give that a bit of a shot, play that for a little bit and see how we like it. And I figured you guys could play with me. Also have a backup game because I'm going to try to broadcast for a little bit today. My backup game, I think, is going to be my emulator. Because I've not played my emulator in a while. It's really been a pretty good amount of time since I've played, so probably Super Nintendo. I'm thinking some SNES games. Just not. I can only really play a Nintendo game if I don't have to invest a lot of time in that Nintendo game. Like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, probably play like an hour of it, and then I get it to Bald Bull or Soda Pop Pinsky, and I get my ass kicked, and I'm after like 2 or 3 tries of that, I'm like, at least I can still get up here quickly. But with a Super Nintendo game, I really feel like I'll invest a little bit more time, and I'll happily save my game and come back to it at a later time. But I'm still a very big fan of retro gaming. I got the music playing, I got everything working, but you guys aren't watching it, so let us change that. There we go. Now, I really need to buck up and create my scenes properly. Actually spend some time creating some scenes. I'm not too certain what this looks like. OBS is the whole. Okay. So, figure right about there. Is that good? Tropico Fool. Oh yeah. Oh, Presidente. Alright, so let's go to play. And I don't want to do sandbox missions, but I don't want to do campaigns either. No extra missions. Do I kind of not have a choice? Hada! Ruba! Hiya!
But at least it's my hellhole. St. Clara is the typical Caribbean island.
A lot of respect. Don't want to get involved in the campaign. Would just prefer. I guess sandbox it is. I don't want a hard one. I'm okay with a moderate or an easy. Let's try this one. Very stable is alright. Okay. Okay. Let's go to full. Yeah, full 50 years here. Starting population. Let's go 50. Random events. Let's do rare. Prominent factions. Fairway place. Oh, yeah, a faraway place. There we go. Can't read. I'm just not used to seeing those two words combined, so. Royale. Right. Immigrants on. I feel that immigrants help if you attract the right immigrants. Alright, we will create our own. Oh yeah, Chief of the Police, I like that. Rise to power. That's fine. Financial genius. Let's see. Or the vigilante. Alright. Can definitely go up a notch here. I always find it peculiar, right? The floors change. They get, they go up and down, but the amount of tenants is the same. I wonder why that is. Got it. So we have our Teamsters coming out. Nope, that's farmers. I'm kind of just going off of what I remember. So, I know I'm going to need some farms. I know I'm going to need a clinic eventually. I know I'm going to need more tenant housing because I have to bring more people in quickly. And then the farm. I'm going to need more farms and probably some logging. Do that now. Actually, nope. Go to resources, salt mine, logging camp. Maybe just another little bunkhouse here.
Buenas tardes. ¿Sí?
I think I got smacked with sand, man. Oh, tired.
Peace and love, dear Presidente. Please accept this flower wreath as a gift and hear my plea.
Sorry, but no, I'm not gonna stop. Let's build some more logging camps. Alright, I shall be right back. I'm gonna pause it. Here we go. Look at a very tired young boy. running it. Need some money while I was back there, but didn't want you guys to miss anything. Alright, so let's see. We have our farms are up and working, still being built. That's one thing I don't like about the construction is it's just so slow. I mean, not that I mind waiting for construction to be completed, but in this game, like, it could be 20 minutes before this is built. So,
Why don't you try Presidente cereal? Completely organic for people like you, Sonny. It's made from stuff that even animals won't eat.
No cereal can be organic enough. The Presidente brand doing okay then?
Sure, Presidente's so popular, everything with his name sells.
A petition has arrived at the palace, insisting for a museum.
We managed to get the economy.
exclusive interview with El Presidente's childhood bear, which is now on display at his childhood museum. Misha, how do you feel about being on display? Oh, it's great. Come and see us all.
Aren't you a little old to be playing with dolls?
Don't listen to these
I'll
snarky
save
baby,
this.
Misha.
Snarky?
Just I find myself kind of getting tired. I don't know if you're able to see it, but I'm just like dozing off right now. I need something to really keep my attention because I'm dozing off and I feel ridiculous. Probably have to plug in my controller. I need to start it up and set up OBS to read this correctly anyway. Oh yeah, I have a bad habit. I bite my nails. Constantly. Has nothing to do with my nerves, being nervous, anxiety. I just always bite my nails. Since I was about 6, I guess. Now, my mom tried everything when I was a kid to get me to stop. She used to paint this nail polish on them. It would just taste nasty. And it was almost impossible to stop. So what I did is I would just sit there and lick off all the nastiness. I'd lick the nail. Oh, it's so gross. But within like 2 minutes, it's gone. So I would lick it all off, and then I'd go back to biting my nail. And it would leave this aftertaste, but really, it wasn't even close to as bad as the nail polish was. And then another time, she tried to dip my fingertips into the nails into jalapeno. And I think I got it in my eye one time. I rubbed my eye, and that was the end of that. There was no stopping me. I think I continued it. I'm pretty damn sure I continued it all throughout high school and my service in the Army. Because I was in the Army for 8 years. I bit my nails all through those 8 years. I bit them through, just a very long time. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's just a very long time and bite my nails. It's weird, I guess. Alright. Yes, I realize that you guys are like, hey, can't see anything. We can hear stuff, but can't see it. So let me fix this for you. Game capture. You gonna read this correctly, though? See, this is what I'm concerned about. I got it working. Clearly, you can see it. But what I want is to make sure that when I start a game, it stays. Maybe it runs the emulation in this app. I'm not quite sure. But I'm kind of hoping that this was my first and favorite Madden game for a long time. It's so basic today, but back in the day. That was the stuff, man. Me and my brother played that a lot. Constantly competing against one another. My brother's like 5 years younger than I am, and you know, he grew up watching me play video games, and he became a sidekick. He was. He's not anymore. The man can hold his own now. You know, I'm 36. He's 31. He's a video game lover too, though. I'm so saddened that he likes consoles, which is kind of ironic because here I am playing a console, an emulator of a console. I mean the newer consoles, the Xbox Ones, the PS4s. I'm just not big fans. I love my computer. I love what my computer can do. I love that it's like, for the most part, I have no boundaries whatsoever other than not being able to play exclusive titles for Xbox One or PS4. I don't have to connect this to a TV, so that frees up a TV. I'll just run all this off my computer. And the backwards compatibility is like, huh, that has to be the best thing ever. And I feel that it's so underwhelming when it comes to a console nowadays. You own the PS4, the Xbox One. How far back can you play some of those games? Can you play an original Xbox game? Can you play an original PlayStation game? The little black disc. I'm not sure how many of you ever had a PlayStation, but they used to be these. It was in no way, or seemingly no way, reflective. It's just a black disc with data on it. Amazing. And they've never done a disc like that since. I don't know if it's because the compression rates are very different or what, but just backward compatibility with a computer is phenomenal. I can go back 20 or 30 years if I want to. I can add a DOS emulator, which most Windows still has a DOS, you know, runs things in DOS, or you can run things in DOS. But more than that, more than just that, you know, this right here. This is a program I picked up maybe like 6 months ago, and I love it. It's called Launchbox, and there's a free version which does quite a lot, but not what I'm currently using. This menu, I think it cost me like 20 bucks. You donate it, no big deal. You know, I've bought not WinRAR. I bought Damon's Tools. You know, I've started giving money to those guys who I've used for free for so long. I've grown up now. I realized that it takes a lot to maintain stuff like this, so why not add a couple of bucks? Plus, it added a lot of features to the Launchbox. Let me go over briefly what they are, and then we'll jump into a game and double check that this works. Now, the regular Launchbox, which doesn't have hardly as much content as this does, still supports a wide variety of games and emulators, and the ROMs you get yourself. If you have used emulators before, then this should be, you know, pretty easy for you to, you know, you're working with emulators, you know what you're doing, right? Right. Okay. Change this Launchbox. RLGamer. Saved. Done. Okay. Alright. So, just briefly, what I'm going over here. Now, I want to plug in my controller, so I will do that while I'm talking. Ugh. Launchbox is a program that takes all of your ROMs and combines them into one fairly easy to use program. Now, it still runs off of emulators, which you have to connect the emulators to Launchbox and the ROMs to Launchbox, and it compiles them into these categorized lists that make it so much easier to navigate and to play many of your favorite games. Now, I'm old school. I've always been old school. I'll always be old school. I will always want old school games I grew up with, because that's just part of who I am. This is why I love games today, or because of the games of yesterday. So I will always have some sort of program that allows me to play many games that are discontinued or extremely difficult to find anymore. Alright, sweet. Now my controller seamlessly, automatically works with Launchbox, which is great. So I plug it in, automatically does it. Don't really have to do much of anything. Though I think I should restart the program because it's reading some residual lag, and I think that's because I plugged it in later than oh, fuck me. No, I don't wish to exit. We're going to keep streaming. I accidentally... Launchbox also has something else. It's a lockout mode. And I like this. When you're running in lockout mode... Did I close my Steam? Yeah, closed everything. Except for this stream. No, not my Steam. Not this stream. Okay, cool. Alright. The lockout mode allows the computer to start, and when it does, it automatically goes into this. Now I chose this video and I edited my Launchbox so that when it starts, it plays this video. It does this every time. I love it. It's a beautiful, seamless system. There we go. So my controller works perfectly now. I've got a Logitech, what is it, G10 I want to say. Nice little controller I picked up at Walmart for 15 bucks. Buttons don't stick. Seems to be pretty good. Can switch between my analogs and my directional pad if I so choose. Oh, there we go. It's the F310. $15 controller. Easy peasy. I have an older controller with me, but just from it's got to be like 10 years old, and it's got sticky keys from candy and soda, and you know I'm a man. And I'm a dirty man at that sometimes, so I don't take very good care of my older things. Though I will have you know that my older systems still work, still run, and so do the games for them. So let's see, what are we going to start off with? I mean, we have a lot of games to choose from, and a lot of them I've played a lot, and I love them all. A lot of these are tied to childhood memories, which is why they're on my list. I guess we'll quickly start at the top. There's so many Super Nintendo games, but I've chosen a lot of these. Let's get to a really good game here. Games, no, just Cheetah. Claymates. This game is a game that is underrated. My mom picked this up probably when I was like 12, and the design in it would remind you of Clay Fighter, and same thing with some of the characters reminds you of Clay Fighter. Well, this is what came out first. It was Claymates, and then Clay Fighter, all by Interplay. It's a good game. We'll come back to it eventually. Donkey Kong Country. I think that game is just the fucking bee's knees. Pardon my French. It is absolutely one of the best Super Nintendo games I had ever played when this was released. The visuals, the music. It's one of the few games I beat at that time. Doom. Never beat Doom for Super Nintendo, but I beat it for PC a few times. Both Doom 1 and 2. Earthbound. Never beat it, got very far in it, and then it just gets... I feel that there are lots of areas where it's just complicated and without help. Sure, without help. It can be difficult. Final Fury games, Final Fantasy games. I mean, how could you ever go wrong with Final Fantasy? Just amazing. Let's see it. Mystic Quest, Final Fight. Firepower 2000 was another good game, especially in co-op. The Flintstones, never played it. Just kind of threw it up there on that list. F-Zero, that's a classic. George Foreman KO Boxing, I used to play this a lot with my brother. It sucks. I don't know why I have it on my list. Maybe just to remind me how sucky it really is. Gradius, fantastic series. Harvest Moon, fantastic series. Home Improvement, shits and gigs. Hook, love the movie, didn't really like the game. Love the movie though. Fantastic movie. It's on my list to play. Never played The Hunt for Red October though. Incredible Hulk wasn't bad at its time. Was excuse me, better than a lot of other titles for that dealt with the DC universe. This is DC, no, Marvel universe. It was one of the better ones. The X-Men's were kind of weak, but I think the Incredible Hulk was actually pretty decent. Indiana Jones, never played it. Inspector Gadget, loved the cartoon, never played the show. Itchy and Scratchy is based off of, The Simpsons. Great game. I have, I believe, both Simpsons for this. Jeopardy. I played a lot. I played so much Jeopardy for the Nintendo that I had memorized many of the questions and answers. And it was funny because my mom liked playing this with me. Well, I would play it over and over and over again until I would learn what the correct answers were, and I would beat my mom. And she was pretty smart. Well, she still was smart, but she couldn't believe it. She's like, "Oh my God, how are you possibly smarter than me? How the hell would you know that answer?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm smarter than I look, Mom." I'm not. I just found out that if you just keep playing and you randomly get all the categories, and you remember all the questions and how they start, you get all the answers. Because all the categories only have 5 questions ever. So you just have to remember those 5 questions for that category and remember the answers for it. And after you've played the game like 40 or 50 times, you're almost guaranteed to get some of those questions 2 or 3 times. Like I said, John Madden, played it. Judge Dredd, never played it. Jungle Strike, badass game. Jurassic Park, so weak, but not at the time that it came out. When I was a kid, this was a big deal. This game was fun. But as I've gotten older, I've gotten wiser. And it's just crap. It's craptastic. Killer Instinct. I love this game. But what was best about Killer Instinct was when the game was released, it came with a music CD that had like every song from Killer Instinct kind of remixed into these techno-ish songs, which in the 90s was a really big deal. I used to listen to the shit out of that CD. King of Monsters, never big fan of King of Monsters. I feel it was just very gimmicky, it's difficult to control. Kirby. Who could say no to Kirby? Krusty, another Simpsons character. Last Action Hero, never played it. Probably sucks ass. In fact, I think I've seen a video on it. Zelda Link to the Past, fantastic game. Looney Tunes B-Ball, Lost Vikings, Lost Vikings 2, Mega Man's. Machines. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Yeah. This is probably the only time it was ever cool to me. Maybe at like 13. I think I was like 13 or 14 when it came out. And I thought it was awesome. And I didn't know what I was talking about. And I never liked it since after that. And then Mortal Kombat's. Oh man. I owned 2 and 3. Now, I went to the arcade a lot and played 1. But my mom wasn't going to buy a game like that, and I was 12. But when 2 came out, I begged for it. I begged. I finally said yes, and me and my brother would just play it over and over and over again. And back then, I knew all the fatalities. In fact, I remember one in particular, and I loved doing this. I would be Shang Tsung, and then I would, right before I'm about to kill my brother, I would turn into Sub-Zero. And then there's when the player dies, there's a beginning fatality that starts off forward, down, I think it's high kick. And you do like this super sub freeze. Now it doesn't last forever, and if that's all you do, then they fall and the fatality is over. But I would do that, and then within like like a millisecond later, I would change back into Shang Tsung and I'd switch off to another player, like lickety split, and then do their fatality with a frozen dude. And it was awesome. I loved doing it. And I used to be so good at it, and there's no way I could do it now. Maybe with lots of practice that I'm just not going to get. NBA Jam. Awesome games. He's on fire! Boom! Shaka laka laka. Sometimes I still say some of those things to myself. How pathetic is that? Pilot Wings. Now, if you loved to fly, this was the game for you. This game had jetpacks and parachutes, and they did a Pilot Wings 64, which wasn't bad, but very, like, cartoony and very not serious anymore. This game had a more serious undertone. But I always die on the actual mission part. I always die. But I suck at that. Alright, let's see. All the Ren and Stimpies, Rocket's Modern Life, Samurai Showdown, Secret of Evermore, Secret of Mana, Shadowrun, Shaq Fu. Ugh. SimCity. Never played the SimCity 2000. I've always played the PC version. But the original SimCity I played a lot on. And the only thing that I like about this one compared to the computer version is the music. There's really good music in the SimCity Super Nintendo version. I don't believe, I'm almost positive it's not in the computer version. I played that for DOS. In fact, it was the first time I had ever played SimCity. I was like 13 in tech ed class. And our teacher had these computers with like space flights and space shuttle simulator and SimCity. And the Incredible, what is it, the Incredible Machine? Something like that. The Crazy Incredible Machine? Oh, something. But it was basically like a Rube Goldberg machine that you're creating. Let's see, what else? Here are some of the other Marvel games. They're not good at all. Carnage wasn't bad. This one wasn't so great. Star Fox. Even though there was technically never a Star Fox 2. I've got it. Star Trek, because I'm a Trekkie fan, and these are not very good games, and I've maybe only played them a few times, but I like Star Trek, just like Star Wars. We have Star Wars on the list also. Super Star Wars, Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Stars, yeah, Star Wars. None of them are really good, in my opinion. The first real good Star Wars game I remember was Shadows of the Empire for Nintendo 64. It was a great game, and I actually beat it, and it was hard. It was very hard. I remember that a lot. Playing a lot of those levels over and over and over again. Especially we have to fight Boba Fett in Slave 1. Very difficult battle. It feels so long ago. I feel like I'd like to play that and beat it again, but I feel like it'd just be extremely difficult on me. Especially considering I have this and not the Nintendo 64 controllers. True Lies. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Urban Strike. Vegas Stakes. Virtual Bart. Warlock. Wing Commander. Wings 2. Aces High. Wolfenstein 3D. World Heroes 2. WWF WrestleMania. This is another game I played a lot with my brother. This was a game I absolutely loved. In fact, I think this is one we're going to play. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Now, I've told my girlfriend about this. I've told people all the time. Every time I've ever showed a Nintendo game or something, like, it's such a really good game, and it's underwhelming how good it was at the time. Like, it really was a good game at the time, and people just didn't realize. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. So we've got this. I don't have the game itself loading up here. So we're just going to swap to it real quick. Yes. Alright, so the premise of the game is basically, and it's really simple. You're playing as a character involved in like every horror movie genre possible. And it's cartoony, and it's funny, and the whole aspect of it is to survive one of two ways. One, you survive the levels by collecting one of 10 people, which it can go higher than 10, but we'll stick with 10 for now just because it's easier for everyone to understand. And, you know, keeping your life bar up. If you lose your life bar, you die. And you get so many lives. So, some of these control over there. Oh yeah, just have to work out where my button controllers are. Alright, so I've got all 10. And at the end of all 10, you go in through the exit. This is a 2-player game, by the way. Then all of your characters are counted up. I believe that if you maintain 10 characters for like 4 or 5 levels, you gain an 11th character. And I've gotten so high as to like 14. But it's not easy. It can be definitely difficult. So, and all these are just little, you know, more weapons, bazookas that blow holes through walls, soda cans that kind of explode into a radius and kill multiple creatures, and the creatures will change based on levels. And so far, all we see are zombies. But there are many more. Many different kinds. There's chainsaw wielding psychopaths. There's get some soda. You'll know when someone dies by hearing their scream and go, ah! Can't miss it. I think I have one more. He's a scientist on a little puddle next to the puddle in the pool. There it is. He's over here. Yep, there we go. That's the last one. So let us grab what we can get. I feel like there's an opening here. Swap to my D-pad. It just feels more comfortable with my fingers. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Yep. Boom, doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. So still have 10. So good. So good. It's the mall. Yep. Well, it's like a mall. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank goodness. Almost missed him. Relentless. Totally worth. Now, the secret here is do the best you can to not see something and be able to get to it right away. Because the longer you wait, like, you can get a zombie that spawns right there and just eats them. And it's quick. You're like, oh my god, is that it? Yeah, that's it. It's just that quick. It's supposed to be like Chucky dolls. Tomatoes. I feel like I have 1 or 2 left, maybe. We got 4? 4? Really? This is my little radar, by the way. It tells me where everyone's at for the most part when I walk within proximity of them. There we go. So we've collected all 10 again. Still have good health. Oh boy, we're probably going to lose 1 or 2 here. This is some difficult stuff. This is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, basically. You're getting all these these guys. You cut hedges, they will chase you. You can kill them, but you're going to waste ammo and time and probably some health trying to do so. So just outmaneuver them quickly and get to all of the survivors as quick as you can. That's the secret in this anyway. It's not fighting these guys. These guys will win. And there's enough of them to keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. The whole secret is to get to where you gotta go faster than they can. We've got 4 left, huh? Just don't know. Whoever wrote the music for this game was phenomenal to me when I was a kid. Circusy and yeah, thank you. Beast mode. Not the only way to beat them. Missing one. And I'm gonna run out of beast mode. Oh, how do I get in there? When you get close to water, he or she or whatever it is will look at it funny and go, no. Ding! All 10. That is pure luck Haven't done that in a long time. Now, one of these levels is a boss. Don't remember which one. Maybe it's after this. Maybe it was that. I don't know. I should write that down, right? You guys remember those days of writing passwords down? These are quick and easy, though, at least. At least I'm not like it's a 20 word password here. Where are we at? X, H, or S. I'm certain that I could go online and look up the password of the last level, but really, what's the point in that? I like this one. This one's not too bad. It's a good level. You get a bunch of replicas of you, like the pod people, or I'm thinking of a specific movie with what's the name of it? But what's cool is they mimic your actions for a moment, so even if there's an enemy within the area, they don't immediately run to them. They pretend to be you still for a moment. So you kind of get away with that. You can hear me here. And you get this creep, which can and does hurt you. May come back for that once I've got some of these stragglers. Before I go through, let me go through that one house I skipped over down here. Now, the mystery potion can turn you into one of three things. It can either damage you, it can turn you into a monster, or it can turn you into a, what is that, a liquid guy, I want to say. Which I don't really understand what was special about him. It's been a long time, so I probably just don't remember. Oh, see, there we go. Oh, that's an extra life. Pyramid of Fear. I walked right into that one, didn't I? Going all the way in the top left. Some of these level designs are really, really amazing for their time. Just makes me invulnerable, basically. I can't use anything, I can't do anything, I walk over water. I was kind of hoping there was a health potion. That would be super necessary right now. Oh, did y'all know about this, huh? Huh? Shazam! Oh yeah, the baby. The baby. I've been able to beat this in a while, so good luck to me. Not to mention, this little son of a bitch steps on some people. And sometimes, there's nothing I can do about that. Let's see if I can beat him to it. Nope, there's one. It's fine. Step on me, don't step on that. And that's how I get you. There we go. Killed two of me. Let's see, boys. Do I still have 10? Even though I collected him? No. I lost 2. I lost 2. I'm losing 2. 8X B G D. Alright, and on that, we're going to take a break.